I'm going to do a quick walkthrough of the current system we're using now and what it does so that you can see what we need the new one to do. On the dashboard, it's just showing you all of the current plates that are coming in from all sites. As you hit newer, you get all the information for the new sites. This is just a fancy looking thing. We don't really use it for anything, but it gives you a way of seeing stuff happening. One of the features is dispatch view, which is kind of nice, and that shows every location that we have license plate camera cluster, and it's real time. And whenever an alert comes through, right there, an alert just came through, it'll say missing person, and it says the camera and the direction they were traveling, and a description of the alert, and that'll be real time. And each of the departments have the ability to, on this page, say, I want to see alerts real time from every department or anyone's alert list, because every department has their own alert list. So from here, if I'm at Beaver Police Department, look, I thought those were ones. If I'm at Beaver Police Department, I can have this up on my screen, and I can only select Beaver Police Department. Then I will only get alerts and pop-ups and noises for my alerts. But by default, you can select them all, and this will just sit here and show me alerts from anywhere. So that's just a fun thing. Configuration alerts. This is where a customer, and when I say a customer, it's going to be a police department, some sort of public safety entity, and that police department will have their own alert list. And Dormont Police Department might have 10 users in there. And they have an alert list right here that they have access to. And whenever they put an alert in, they can add an alert, and the alert will be plate ABC1011, whatever. And you describe that, and it's going to be a test vehicle. And this is where you would typically put in, this is a missing person alert. It was set up on this date. Any description so that you don't have to click something when you get the alert. You'll get a text message or an email, and they'll have this whole description in it. And a lot of times we'll put the police department in there. That way, if somebody else receives the alert, they could call the right department. Match strategy, whatever. So this is where you put in your plates that you want to be notified of. I'm the administrator, so I'm logged into all of these accounts at the same time. So Dormont Police Department has this alert list. This alert list is set up for all the sites. And when I say sites, that's a cluster of cameras in one location. So this site has 4 license plate cameras. This site has 3. So an alert list that is property of that police department can be set up to only alert them whenever the alert comes through on their cameras or when it comes through on any cameras. And this Dormont Police Department could have multiple lists. They could have a Dormont Police Department all sites list and another list that we create for them that would be just for their cameras. So that way they can be alerted when the bad guy is right in front of them instead of just he's somewhere in this area. So each alert list now, you pick the sites that you want to be alerted for every plate in this list, not for the individual alerts. And then the alert notifications, this is where you would, you set who gets alerted when the alert happens. When the plate comes through, who gets the alert notification, who gets an email, who gets a text message. Now, alert permissions, these are the users that are permitted to modify and add and remove alerts from this alert list. So there's only one user that is permitted to manage this alert list for Dormont Police Department. And you can have all of your officers set as a permission and 2 of the officers set to receive alert notifications. So that's how the alert system works, and there's there's two different things in there as far as users. They are, oh, and by the way, the alert lists can be imported and exported as CSV files. So when we do have an automatic script running on a separate machine that goes to the State Police of Pennsylvania, and it downloads their hot lists and imports them into several different hot lists in this system. So you can import an alert list, you can do an auto import with a third-party plugin, whatever, and you can also export them if you want. These are the users here, because I went under user management. So we have, I don't know, 600 users in the system, and the users, you have a name, a phone number, and then a group. And the group is a typical user or an admin user. What we would like to have is admins for ourselves, for the people that are managing this system. We'd like to have a user, which is a basic user, and we'd like to have a regional admin, which would be like the police department, the police chief. He would be able to add and remove users for his department, but not be able to touch any other department. We don't have that feature right now. Right now, the only people that can create users is us, and we actually do have a website that people go to and they register. This is a different program as well. They register and request access for use to the system, and then it sends us an email, and we click on yes or no on the email, and it automatically goes and creates a user in the license plate software for them with a default password, sends them an email back that your user account has been created and this is your password, change it whenever you log in for the first time. So it's basically doing everything that we want perfectly right now. We don't have to physically type in the username of every user, because there's probably 20 different officers that are requesting access every day. So we can export and import users here, and that's kind of how that separate plugin works. Is it does an import whenever a customer requests access and we authorize it. So the alerts are set up to notify everybody, or individual departments or all departments. You can set up whoever you want to receive the alert. That's different from who can manage the alert list. Whenever we do a search, I could just type in ZYY star on the quick search, and it'll give me the results for all of our cameras in the last week of everything that followed that criteria. I'm not getting anything because there's probably wasn't anything in there, but from the search window we can search for plates, possible plate candidates, but we just typically go plates. We can search by vehicle make and model as well. We could say that we want a red Acura body type sedan, and then we could say red, and then I could say what direction, we don't typically use any of the other stuff, but do I want to search for that everywhere, or do I want to search for that just on this one site for the last week? Whenever we're doing algorithms like that, it takes a while, but I just searched the whole last week for 2 license plate cameras for any time during there for a red Acura sedan, and that is a red Acura sedan. So you could see that it's very, very accurate. Sometimes it gets the make wrong because we got, like a Volkswagen there, and their symbols are kind of similar. But as far as color and make, it's typically pretty good. So we can search by that. We can search by a plate number, and the plate number can be a full plate number. It can be a star and a 122 star, meaning that a 122 is somewhere in the middle of something else. It's very accurate. We have the ability to what is it? It is the search audit. Okay, this is where the state of Pennsylvania requires this. Every user, we have to be able to go back and say, all right, this guy searched for this plate at this time, and we need to know why. Every department keeps a record of what they searched and why. But if the state of Pennsylvania finds that somebody is under suspicion of misusing the system, we have to be able to provide a report that says what those persons searched for and what time. I think that's, for the most part, everything.